Right, okay then. I'm going to try and put myself together a plasma gunner marine now. So there's no actual instructions on how to do this in combat patrol. However, after kind of having a look at the sprue, I think the arms 97 and 98 could be used to hold this plasma gun here, number 75. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start off by building body parts 94 and 95. To be quite honest, I have no idea if this is the body for the plasma gun. And I'm just kind of hoping as I go through that the arms and the body and everything will just kind of work. Now, I mentioned in my last video when I was doing the missile launcher that you actually can only really have one heavy. Well, you can. I think the rules say. I hope this is right. That you can have either 2 special weapons or 2 heavy weapons, or a mix of 1 heavy weapon, 1 special weapon in a squad. So what I'm kind of hoping with that, I don't know why I've put glue in the wrong place there. Here first. I'll get back to what I was on about. So basically, either a mix of one or the other, or 2 heavy weapons, 2 special weapons, or one and one. So do not do what I'm doing, which is basically building the different special weapons up, because you won't be able to use them in a normal squad. You basically need 20 Marines, 2 squads. My personal preference is, if you're doing a hand-to-hand squad, then it's worth putting 2 special weapons in there. If you're doing a hand-to-hand geared squad, it's pretty not really much good putting heavy weapons in that kind of squad, because they won't be able to move. Or at least that's how the rules used to be, to put it quite bluntly. I don't really know if the modern rule set says you can't move with a heavy weapon and shoot, but that's always been the way, that you can't move and shoot with heavy weapons. Whether or not that rule change has happened, I don't know, but anyway, I just think it's worth pointing out that if you're going to have special weapons in a squad, have 2 special weapons, put them in a hand-to-hand squad, and then put your heavy weapons in your bolter squad. And that way you've got the ability to kind of keep moving with your hand weapon squad. I feel like I'm waffling a bit there and not really making my point very well. Anyway, okay, let me get this head out here, number 125. And picked out a backpack before. Let me find which backpack I chose. I can't remember now. Maybe I didn't pick out a backpack. I wasn't paying attention properly. I think my brain's finally shut down at the moment, to be quite honest about it. 137. I never remember what. I think some days my brain's just not fully working, and I think I'm just thinking I'm saying something when I'm really not. Anyway. Now, what I need to do is I need to get out these arms. I said, I think this works, but I'm not going to know until I actually try and glue it all together. So I'm getting arms 97 and 98 out. Okay, now here's the big chance. Does this work? Does this gun arm, the actual gun itself, work? I mean, you know, there's quite a few different arms that you could potentially use for this one, so it's going to be kind of guesswork, because you've also got a couple of arms like 20, 24 and 33 that could work together. You've also got things like 74, 75. I'm not going to know until I actually try it, to be quite honest. And if it's not these arms, then what I'm going to do is, I think there's a different set of arms that could potentially be the match. So I'm going to see if this works, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to get out a couple of other arms that I've seen that could potentially be the right ones. I really shouldn't try and do things trial and error, really, should I? I should plan things out a bit better, but, you know, it's sometimes good to play around. Right. Right, I'm 100% convinced now that although, see, it seems to sit on there all right. No, okay, it's definitely not those arms. I think I've picked the wrong sounds out. Do you know what I've realised? It's because my brain has gone to sleep. I think it's these arms that I should be using, 73 and 74. Gosh, what am I like? I think, do you know what? I even probably realised that before and then forgot to change my mind. Right, let's try 73 and 74 and see if this will work. It's the problem when you don't have the actual instructions to hand. You're kind of going, will this work? Will it won't? Will, you know, will these arms work? Will the arms allow this plasma gun to go on? You just don't know until you try some days, because if you don't have the instructions, and I know I probably could have gone and looked online for them, but unless I've got them physically in front of me, I will simply forget again. Because my mind doesn't function properly some days. Right, come on, please be the right arms for this. Yes, there we go. I've just got a slight problem of having to line them up comfortably. Right. Just making sure that that's in all right. I feel like the arms have sunk downwards when they shouldn't have done. There we go. Okay, now that I've got the actual arms in position, I can run the head, aiming down the gun. like so. And then what I need to do is I need to just put some shoulder pads on him. No, that's not the ones that I wanted though, was it? I'll find a couple of shoulder pads that'll do. I'll go for these here, number 8, number 9. And then if I just pop them on like so. And there we have it. That is a plasma gunner built. So I did make a little mistake. I put the wrong arms on to begin with because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I'd already worked out which arms to use and I pulled the wrong ones off. Other than that, we have ourselves a plasma gunner kit of Space Marine. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you for the next video.